A true life tale. Ari, the mountain girl. Ari was a young girl from the mountains, raised in simplicity among her family. One day, she married a man named Phone and moved far away to his village, leaving behind the warmth of her parents' home. She knew little about him, only that he was an ordinary man, neither rich nor poor. When she arrived, she discovered that the person with money was not her husband, but his elder brother. Still, Ari accepted her new life without complaint, determined to build a family. It wasn't long before Phone's true nature began to surface. He was a womanizer, leaving the house at night to pursue other women. He paid little attention to Ari. The reason he had married her wasn't love, it was simply because Ari was educated, which gave him some pride among his people. Every day, Ari sat in quiet sorrow. When she bore him a child, she thought things might change, but Phone remained the same. He still wandered at night, chasing after women, never caring for the wife at home. Men who do not love from the heart, no matter how much you give, it will never be enough, Ari whispered to herself. Time passed. The woman Phone truly desired married another man, leaving him heartbroken. With no choice, he continued living with Ari. 10 years passed, and during that time, Ari gave birth to 6 children. Their lives were never easy, yet they carried on. Poverty still weighed heavily on the family, and Phone decided to work abroad, leaving Ari to raise the children alone. She became the pillar of the household, working the fields, saving every coin, never spending on herself, never caring about beauty. Her hands grew rough, her skin darkened under the sun, but she endured it all for the sake of her children's future. 2 years later, Phone returned. They now had a house, a car, land, life seemed nearly complete. But peace was short-lived. Phone's friends whispered into his ears, Ari is not beautiful. You deserve someone better, someone who matches your status. Phone's heart was weak. He listened. Soon he brought another woman into his life, a younger, prettier wife with a child of her own. To please her, Phone did everything, even abandoning Ari and his 6 children. Ari begged him, even if you no longer love me, let me stay at least in name. I will not interfere with you and her. But Phone was firm. He turned away from Ari and the children, believing that his new woman and her child were worth more than the family he already had. With no other path, Ari returned to her parents' home with her children. Yet in Hmong tradition, a woman who has married and comes back is considered a curse, an omen that displeases the ancestors. Though her parents and siblings loved her, they could not fully welcome her. All they could do was help build a small hut for her and the children. Life was unbearable. At times, Ari and her children had no rice to eat. She tried to farm her own field, but in the first year, the rice had not yet grown. The grain she had stored was gone. Her children cried of hunger, and Ari, with tears in her eyes, walked to gather long beans she had once planted. She boiled them with a little salt, handing the bowls to her children. Eat, my loves, she told them gently. It may not be rice, but I will never let you starve. The next day, her sister-in-law, seeing her plight, quickly brought a small basket of rice to share. With that, Ari and her children could once again eat properly, at least for a while. Years passed. Ari continued to work tirelessly. She sent her children to boarding school in town so that they would have food and education, while she labored in the fields alone. Nights in the remote rice farm were cold and frightening. She feared both men and spirits, but she endured, because giving up was not an option. Eventually, Ari decided to go into town to sell vegetables on the roadside. She had little to start with, just a cloth on the ground and a few bundles of greens. Day by day, year by year, her business slowly grew. After 4 or 5 years, she found a stable place to sell, earned steady money, and could support her children's education. Their lives began to improve. Phone's, however, did not. His younger wife refused to work, and together they squandered everything, land, house, wealth, until nothing was left. Finally, the woman abandoned him, leaving Phone with nothing but regret. He thought of Ari. He thought of the children he had left behind. But by then, it was far too late. The wounds he had caused could never be undone, and forgiveness was no longer possible.